Hello, this is Ruth Hollingshead, trustee for Sight for Wight, welcoming you to this week's Talking News.
Sight for Wight Talking News for Friday the 28th of August 2020.
Alison, reading from the Isle of Wight County Press. Face coverings in England's schools. Pupils will have to wear masks in U-turn by Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson has performed a U-turn on the wearing of face coverings in schools across England ahead of pupils returning to the classroom from next week. It will be compulsory in areas of local lockdown, which does not include the Isle of Wight at present. Here's what the government have said and how the new rules affect pupils. Why have the rules changed? The U-turn comes days after the World Health Organization, the WHO, published a new statement on August the 21st on when children should wear face coverings. The WHO now advise that children aged 12 and over should wear a mask under the same conditions as adults, in particular when they cannot guarantee at least a 1 metre distance from others and there is widespread transmission in the area. What are the new rules on face coverings at schools in England? In an update issued at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 25th by the Department for Education, the government has revised its guidance on face coverings for staff and children in Year 7 or above in England. The government statement reads, "While the government is not recommending face coverings are necessary, schools will have the discretion to require face coverings in communal areas if they believe that it is right in their particular circumstances." In addition, and consistent with the WHO's new advice, the government will advise additional measures are taken in areas where the transmission of the virus is high. In these areas, defined as areas of national government intervention, also known as areas of local lockdown, as listed on gov.uk, the government's guidance will state face coverings should be worn by adults and pupils in secondary schools when moving around the school, such as in corridors and communal areas where social distancing is difficult to maintain. Will pupils have to wear face coverings in the classroom? It will not be necessary to wear face coverings in the classroom. The government say protective measures already mean the risks are lower and they can hinder learning. Will the rules apply to sixth forms, colleges and universities? Yes, the U-turn will also apply to further education colleges and will be reflected in the government's guidance to universities. Will the face covering rules apply to primary schools across England? No, they will not apply to children in primary schools where the government say the risks to children are lower. When will the new rules on face coverings in schools across England begin? The new rules will come into effect from Tuesday, September the 1st. The government say that updated guidance on face coverings in all education settings will be published in due course. What has the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, said? Education Secretary Gavin Williamson said, "Our priority is to get children back to school safely. At each stage we have listened to the latest medical and scientific advice. We have therefore decided to follow the World Health Organization's new advice. In local lockdown areas, children in Year 7 and above should wear face coverings in communal spaces. Outside of local lockdown areas, face coverings won't be required in schools, though schools will have the flexibility to introduce measures if they believe it is right in their specific circumstances. I hope these steps will provide parents, pupils and teachers with further reassurance." Consistent with the WHO's advice, the government added that if the rate of transmission increases across the whole country, it may be necessary to apply stricter guidance on face coverings in schools nationally. This is not necessary at the moment, but the government say they will keep the evidence on transmission under constant review.
This is Brian reading an article from the Island Echo. Eats launches in Newport with McDonald's and KFC signed up. Those living and working in Newport can now order food via Uber Eats, with McDonald's and KFC the first takeaways to sign up to the delivery service. The popular app, which is launching for the first time on a UK island, will enable customers to receive their next meal directly to their door at the touch of a button. Customers can order from McDonald's and KFC straight away, with local favourites including Novo, Tamarind and Corner Stop Cafe also joining the platform in the coming weeks. The app, which can be downloaded to iOS and Android devices, is available every day of the week from 8 a.m. to midnight. You can also visit www.ubereats.com. Toussaint Watine, General Manager of Uber Eats in the UK, said, "We're really excited to be launching in Newport, firstly with McDonald's and KFC, and a host of local restaurants joining in the coming weeks. As the nation's lockdown slowly begins to lift, we hope to make it even easier for local residents to enjoy a variety of delicious food both comfortably and safely." Here's how to order using Uber Eats. Download the free app or go to ubereats.com to see all the restaurants available in your area. You can sign in using your existing Uber account or create a new one. Set your location. You can select your home or any other address. Find the perfect meal. Browse local restaurants or search by cuisine type or dietary requirements to find exactly what your taste buds are asking for. Place your order, pick the items you want right now, or schedule your order to arrive whenever it is most convenient for you. Track the progress of the delivery. Get updates as your order is prepared and on its way to your destination. Enjoy.
This is Chris reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Ireland's new COVID-19 testing facility and how you can use it. The coronavirus testing facility on the Isle of Wight has moved from its current location to New Close County Cricket Club in Blackwater Road. To help people access the cricket ground, the speed limit for part of Blackwater Road has been reduced from 40 miles an hour to 30 miles per hour. Parking has been arranged to segregate those attending for testing from those using the clubhouse and cricket grounds. Since lockdown, both One Leisure Medina and Medina College have been closed, enabling the car park to be used as the testing site. From September, both of these sites will be fully open and therefore will no longer be able to host the testing facility. Dr. Michelle Legg, GP and clinical lead for NHS Isle of Wight Clinical Commissioning Group, said, "As lockdown eases, we are seeing more facilities reopen and a return to some sort of normality. This is why we are relocating the testing facility, ensuring it remains on the island so residents can have easy access to a test should they require it. It's vital to have the test within the first 5 days of showing symptoms, as this will make the test more effective. Since the island has had its own testing facility, more than 3,400 people have had a swab to see if they have the virus. The test involves taking a swab of the inside of your nose and the back of your throat using a long cotton bud. You can do the swab yourself if you are age 12 or over, or someone can do it for you. Parents or guardians have to swab test children aged 5 to 11. The cricket ground testing site will be open from Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. People are advised to book a test by calling 119. What symptoms should I have to book a test? If you or anyone you live with show any one of these symptoms, then you should self-isolate and book a test straight away. A high temperature, a new continuous cough, loss of taste or smell.
This is Howard reading an article from On the Wight. The Isle of Wight Mental Health Hub is here to stay, say health bosses. Integrating mental health services through the COVID-19 pandemic has proved very successful, so will be continuing with minor changes. The Integrated Mental Health Hub has been so successful in the last few months that the Isle of Wight NHS Trust Mental Health Services are really pleased that it will continue for Ireland residents. From Wednesday, 2nd of September 2020, the hub will be relocating to the South Block at St Mary's Hospital. It's currently been based at 7 Pyle Street, Newport. At the start of COVID-19, the Isle of Wight NHS Trust needed to direct people away from the hospital, so an integrated mental health hub was established with the following services joining together: single point of access team, dementia outreach team, Admiral nurses and approved mental health practitioner, older people and rehab team, and the Safe Haven. The Safe Haven, provided by Two Saints, will be moving back to their previous location of 7 High Street, Newport, and the other teams will move together into the new hub based at St Mary's Hospital site. The Mental Health Hub has made a huge impact on service user experience, making it easier for residents to access mental health services they need when they need them. The hub is enabling people who are experiencing mental health crisis to receive the support they need in an appropriate environment and away from the emergency department where they would previously have been seen. Chris Ainsworth, Deputy Director of Mental Health and Learning Disabilities Services, said, "Prior to COVID-19, transformation work was underway to review a central hub for people to be able to access multiple services. In response to COVID-19, multiple teams were pulled together and other teams relocated to temporarily accommodate the new integrated mental health hub. This was a phenomenal effort by all parties involved, and within only a few short days, teams were relocated with minimal service interruption." The location on Pyle Street was a short-term solution in response to COVID-19, and now it's time for the hub to be relocated to the South Block at St Mary's Hospital. We're extremely pleased that the hub has proved to be beneficial to not only the people that need our services, but to our mental health teams. Dr. Michelle Legg, GP and Clinical Chair of NHS Clinical Commissioning Group, said, "The integrated mental health hub has been a huge success, and the benefits have been evident to the staff who have come together during a particularly difficult and challenging time during COVID-19 to deliver a comprehensive multidisciplinary service." Enabling staff to be working closer together and provide support around a patient is always the best approach for a patient, and we're pleased to continue to support this vital service and ensure support for some of the most vulnerable people in our community is maintained. It's important to remind adults or children and young people that if they're feeling worried, anxious, or unsure about their mental health, then there's plenty of support available on the island. You can visit the website to find out more or call NHS 111. Hayley Terrett, Contracts and Performance Manager for Two Saints, said, "Two Saints welcomed the opportunity to work more closely with our partner agencies within the hub. Being in the same building enabled us to work more effectively with our partners to ensure that people experiencing a mental health crisis received the right support at the right time. In our view, this has been a great success, and we'll continue to build on these partnerships and enhance our service delivery further by working in a more collaborative way with a single point of access service." The Trust supports about 900 people each year needing mental health services, and an unannounced inspection by the Care Quality Commission, that's the CQC, in 2019, found improvements to community-based mental health services on the island, including shorter waiting times for psychological therapies. The Integrated Mental Health Hub is another part of the Trust's transformation journey to deliver high-quality mental health support to our island community. You can access the hub by calling 111 to access the specialist mental health triage service, visiting the Isle of Wight Mental Health Community Hub website, dropping into the Integrated Mental Health Hub. Both the 111 and online services are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while the hub is open for drop-ins between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. every day, including weekends and bank holidays. You can access the Safe Haven service at 01983 520 168 or safehaven@twosaints.org.uk. As of 2nd of September, our Safe Haven service will provide drop-in, telephone and email support from our non-clinical, psychologically informed safe space at 7 High Street, Newport, P0301SS, between the hours of 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. weekdays and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. weekends and bank holidays.
This is Den reading from the Isle of Wight County Press. An island doctor crashed his car into a wall in Shanklin's old village whilst more than 3 times the drink-drive limit. He had earlier been seen urinating against the car wheel and drove off when a resident tried to take away his keys. GP David Henderson, 60, of Rush Close, Shanklin, admitted driving while unfit through drink at the Isle of Wight's Magistrates Court today, Friday. The court heard from prosecutor Vivian Ducey how on July the 22nd at around 11:30 p.m, Henderson had been more than 3 times over the legal limit when driving on Church Road. In a statement, a witness recalled hearing the sound of a car revving and looked out of their upstairs window and described the car as bunny hopping along the road. The witness then saw the driver urinating against a rear tyre. They then challenged the driver, attempting to take the keys from the ignition, at which point the driver drove off and later crashed. When the police arrived, a passerby had suffered a minor injury to her hand from a piece of debris, and Henderson was found a short distance away. He was taken into custody and provided a breath alcohol reading of 116. The legal limit is 35. James Cameron, defending, said his client had pleaded guilty at the first opportunity and described Henderson as a hard-working GP who was shocked and ashamed by his actions. The court heard how Henderson, who has never appeared in court before, was not a regular user of alcohol. It was a one-off occasion, and he did not want to risk it ever happening again. Mr. Cameron said Henderson was grateful no one was seriously injured and has since self-referred himself to a counsellor. Henderson had apologised to the injured woman, and he wanted to apologise to both the community and his family for what had happened. He was sentenced to an 18-month community order, 100 hours unpaid, disqualified from driving for 26 months and ordered to pay £180.
This is an article from the Isle of Wight County Press, read by Terry. Floating bridge, still no return date and no word on the repair bill either. No news is available on the return of the floating bridge or the cost of the latest works. The Isle of Wight Council had assured people there would be an update available at the end of August. The county press asked on the 26th of August whether there was any news on the update, the works, the return into action of the vessel and how much it has cost. We specifically asked if it would be back in time for the start of the school term. A council spokesman said, in accordance with the agreed programme, arrangements were made with the shipbuilders and their specialist contractor to remove some of the main components of the hydraulic system, including the main drive and auxiliary pumps and motors, so they can be fully examined and inspected, cleaned and repaired in the pump manufacturers' workshops. This work commenced on Monday, August the 10th. A programme was developed by the shipbuilders to carry out the investigation and remedial works required to enable the vessel to return to service. It is planned that by the end of August, the cause of the issue will have been fully established, together with the extent of the issue known and a date for completion of the works and return to service. Progress on the repairs and the expected return to service is being closely monitored, with the shipbuilder providing regular detailed updates. As soon as a definitive date and cost is known for returning to service, this will be communicated to the media and key stakeholders and posted on social media. Nearly 2,000 people have signed a petition calling for an independent investigation into what's happening with the chain ferry. The launch service for foot passengers will continue to operate from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Sundays.
This is Sue reading an article from On the Wight. Parish councillors join others in opposing 465 home development in Ryde. The Nettlestone and Seaview Parish Council have joined the growing list of those objecting to the proposed 475 home development. A total disaster is what one councillor had to say about proposals to build 475 homes on the edge of Ryde. Councillors on the Nettlestone and Seaview Parish Council Planning Committee last week unanimously agreed to object to Captiva's West Acre Park development that would be built on farmland. Plans were submitted to the Isle of Wight Council earlier this month for a GP surgery, cafe and office space to be built along with 475 houses, 116 of those social or affordable rent house. The objection from Nettlestone and Seaview Parish Council adds to views from the Mayor, Michael Lilly, and the Isle of Wight MP, Bob Seeley, who both do not wish for plans to go ahead. At the meeting last Wednesday, Councillor David Adams said he felt there were major issues coming up with the development, leaving him with many reservations. One of his main points was that the development would be built on one of the last working dairy farms on the island, Westridge Farm, who had already lost acres of their land to another Captiva development. He said this is a working farm that is still successful, not a brownfield site. This would be a total disaster. In its letter of objection, the parish council said Westridge Farm, which is run by the Holiday family and has been for the past 54 years, should be encouraged to thrive and expand its production to the benefit of the community rather than being lost. As a whole, the parish council objected to potential environmental risks as outlined in the Environmental Agency's objection to the plans and the need to preserve the UNESCO biosphere status. While the status supports sustainable building, would see the development cut up the natural environment to recreate it around housing. Erosion of historic and natural countryside. The council also worries the application would merge the separate entities of Nettlestone and Seaview with Ryde, eroding the historic and natural countryside between the parishes. Comments on the planning application 20/1061/FUL are being accepted until the 11th of September on the Council's planning portal.
This is Brian reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Isle of Wight Village pulls together to rescue dinghies from Storm Francis. A village united to save its sailing boats from Storm Francis on Tuesday. Seaview's annual regatta may have had to be cancelled due to COVID-19, but community spirit was still on display when everyone pulled together in difficult conditions. Around 10 iconic clinker-hulled Seaview 1 design dinghies had already capsized on the moorings of Seaview Yacht Club when the decision was made at 5:30 p.m. to bring the fleet onto land. Some of the dinghies that had capsized had been demasted, and there was concern more would be damaged if urgent action was not taken. As a request for help was spread on local WhatsApp groups, volunteers flooded down to the waterfront to help. Around 70 people helped, many working waist deep in the water, with yacht club officials making sure teams worked in their family social bubbles and were properly socially distanced. Within an hour, more than 70 boats had been brought on shore. Surrounding families opened up their garden for them to be stored overnight. It was a very brutal westerly wind, unseen in many decades, and we were worried about the safety of the SVOD fleet, said John Edwards, Commodore. It was exceptionally good to see how quickly club members arrived to assist in bringing the boats to dry land in such tricky circumstances. Carolyn Simmons, class captain, said, "Taking 90 boats out of the water is not undertaken lightly, but when it became obvious that they were no longer safe on the water, the club members pulled together in the most amazing way, with ribs, bailing teams, trolley pullers and several people in the water to grab the boats as they were brought in. There was a very hairy 30 minutes or so when boats suddenly started capsizing, and they were going over faster than we could get them up again. Particular challenges included a semi-submerged dinghy drifting out to sea which we couldn't keep upright. Eventually we managed to strap it between two ribs to stabilise it, and were able to inch painstakingly slowly back to shore. Another anxious moment was when one of the boats turned upside down, having already been righted once, leaving the teenager who had been bailing in the water. Special thanks must go to the staff of Warren's and the club boatmen for working tirelessly to help save the boats, as well as some 70 club members who turned out to help.
This is Chris, reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Gurnard, one-way restrictions from Tuesday. 2 temporary one-way restrictions will be put in place in Gurnard next week. From 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September the 1st, 2 temporary one-way restrictions will be put in place. The first one-way restriction will be introduced along Cockleton Lane from its junction with Pallants Road to its junction with Hilton Road. The second will be introduced along Shore Road from its junction with Solent View Road to its junction with Woodvale Road. The restrictions are required for safety during utility works. An alternative route will be signposted locally. A temporary prohibition of through traffic will also be put in place for the following: Church Road between its junctions with Worsley Road and a point 65 metres west thereof. Worsley Road between its junction with Church Road and the Avenue. Hilton Road between its junctions with Tutton's Hill and a point 60 metres south. Tutton's Hill between its junction with Hilton Road and 30 metres east thereof. The 6'6" width restrictions will be revoked along the following: Worsley Road between its junctions with Solent View Road and Shaw Road, Shaw Road between its junction with Worsley Road and Woodvale Road, Woodvale Road between its junctions with Shaw Road and Baring Road. This will allow vehicles exceeding 6'6" to use the diversion route during utility works.
This is Howard recording an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Lego launches Braille version of its plastic bricks. The firm wants to encourage blind and visually impaired children to explore new ways to learn. The new bricks are the same shape as the regular ones, but with the studs rearranged to form Braille letters and numbers. Lego is launching a new version of its plastic bricks featuring Braille in 7 countries. The new bricks are the same shape as the regular ones, but the studs on top have been rearranged. The bricks are moulded so that the studs on top reflect individual letters and numbers in the Braille alphabet while remaining fully compatible with the Lego system, a statement from the Danish toy maker said. The bricks also feature a printed version of the symbol or letter. Lego said it wanted to encourage blind and visually impaired children to explore new ways of learning to read and write. With thousands of audiobooks and computer programs on the market today, fewer young people are learning Braille. Yet individuals with blindness or impaired vision all over the world rely on Braille to work, study, and enjoy their daily lives to the fullest, the company said. The new bricks will be sold first in Brazil, Britain, Denmark, France, Germany, Norway, and the United States, before being extended to another 13 countries in early 2021. In 2019, Lego allocated 25% of its earnings to the Lego Foundation, which helps disadvantaged children.
This is Den reading from the Island Echo. Tourists to be given access to Test and Trace app this bank holiday weekend. All English tourists visiting the Isle of Wight this bank holiday weekend will be able to download and use the NHS Test and Trace app ahead of the trial's national rollout. Access to the app will be extended to allow visitors arriving on the island from the mainland to use the NHS QR check-in features at venues such as pubs and restaurants, which are displaying the NHS QR poster. Visitors will be able to continue to use the app after returning home. App ambassadors are working with ferry companies Wight Link, Red Funnel and Hover Travel to distribute leaflets containing 8-digit unique codes to those visiting the island, explaining how to use the function. They will be handing out flyers at Portsmouth, Southampton, Southsea terminals and on board the Victoria of Wight and St Clair Wight Link vehicle ferries from the 27th to the 31st of August, while adhering to the government's strict social distancing guidelines and wearing face masks and gloves. Similar newsletters have already been provided to St Mary's Hospital, Newport. Any residents who have lost their letter and require a new code can ask for a leaflet at this location. Isle of Wight Council leader Dave Stewart said, "I am pleased to support the reintroduction of the app and the widening of its availability to visitors to our island. It helps to keep everyone safe and is an extra tool in our toolbox for tackling the virus. I have downloaded it myself and I would encourage everyone that can do so to do as well. The island has led on the development of the app and can now support government as it moves towards national rollout. These next steps have my full support." Keith Greenfield, Wightlink Chief Executive, said, "We are pleased to support the NHS Test and Trace app by welcoming the ambassadors on board our ferries this weekend. It is important that visitors take part in the island initiative to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by improving contact tracing. Fran Collins, Chief Executive of Red Funnel, said, "We are very happy to support this next phase of the app test and do everything we can to help make it a success. We appreciate that many of those travelling with us over the next few days will be heading out to enjoy their holiday weekend, but we hope they will take a moment to learn more about NHS Test and Trace and consider getting involved."
This is an article from the Island Echo read by Sue. New chair appointed for the Isle of Wight NHS Trust. A new chairperson has been appointed at the Isle of Wight NHS Trust. Vaughan Thomas, who has served a 3-year term as chair, will stand down in October. Vaughan has overseen a period of development and stability at the Trust, and during his term there has been a significant improvement in the quality of services and its financial position. Mr. Thomas said, "It has been a real privilege to serve the Trust. Significant improvement to services in a complex organisation such as the Trust require huge commitment, effort and support from a wide range of people. I would like to thank colleagues across the Trust for the very hard work that has been and continues to be delivered. This commitment was particularly visible during the response to COVID-19. The Trust had made real progress over the last 3 years and remains committed to its Getting to Good programme and continuing to advance and improve services for the community. Personally, I would like to thank all those colleagues and partners in the Trust, local authority, voluntary sector and the wider NHS that have been part of and have supported my tenure here. I know and have worked alongside Melanie over the last 3 years. I have the utmost respect for her and her leadership and am confident that the Trust will continue to prosper, building on the strong foundations that are now in place. Melanie Poole, OBE, has been appointed Chair of the Integrated NHS Trust in England, which provide acute, ambulance, community and mental health services across the Isle of Wight. Melanie, who is already Chair of Portsmouth Hospitals, University NHS Trust, PHU, has extensive NHS leadership experience included in acute mental health and community mental health services. She has said, "I am really looking forward to working with everyone in the Trust and with our partners to deliver the Trust vision of high quality, compassionate care that makes a positive difference to our community." Maggie Oldham, Chief Executive at the Isle of Wight NHS Trust, said, "I very much look forward to welcoming Melanie to the Trust when she takes up her post in October. She has a wealth of knowledge and experience that will help us continue to deliver our Getting to Good programme and keep on improving the services we provide for our island community. I also want to thank Vaughan for his tireless service to our Trust and to our community, and I wish him all the very best for the future." Dave Stewart, Isle of Wight Council leader, said, "It has been a pleasure to work closely with Vaughan for the last 3 years, and he deserves a great deal of credit for the way the Trust has improved. He has been instrumental in bringing the health, primary care, social care, community and voluntary sectors together through the local care board and more recently through the Integrated Care Partnership. I wish him all the very best for the future and look forward to working with Melanie over the coming months and years." Alison Smith, Managing Director of the NHS Isle of Wight Clinical Commissioning Group, CCG, said, "Both personally and on behalf of the CCG, I would like to say a heartfelt thank you to Vaughan for all the support he has provided. His experience and insight has certainly helped to enhance NHS services on the island." As the recent Integrated Care Partnership Chair, Vaughan has also supported integrated working between organisations on the island, which includes the CCG, Isle of Wight Council and the voluntary and third sector. This has greatly enabled us to all come together to improve collaboration and coordinate care for the community. He will be missed by all, and I wish him the best of luck with his future plans. I would also like to welcome Melanie to the Trust and to the island. She brings with her a great deal of valuable experience, and I'm looking forward to working with her to continue our improvement journey. The appointment of Melanie Poole underlines the NHS commitment to partnering working. In January 2020, the Isle of Wight NHS Trust and Portsmouth Hospitals University NHS Trust, PHU, announced a partnership to plan and improve acute, hospital-based services for patients on the island and the mainland. It is one of a number of partnerships that the Isle of Wight NHS Trust has entered into to support the delivery of the Isle of Wight Health and Care Plan. It has partnered with the Solent NHS Trust, Solent, to support the transformation of mental health services on the Isle of Wight, and has been working alongside South Central Ambulance Service NHS Foundation Trust, SCAS, to improve its ambulance service for more than 18 months. Following the most recent inspection by the Care Quality Commission, CQC, in 2019, Isle of Wight NHS Trust received a rating of requires improvement. Inspectors rated some of the Trust services as good and recognised the improvement made by lifting the overall rating from inadequate.
Hello, this is Lisa, CEO of Sight for Wight. Thank you for listening to our talking news for the week commencing the 28th of August. There have been no material changes in lockdown guidance this week. It remains that no more than 6 households can, unless it is essential, meet at any one time. And indeed, Boris Johnson continues to add countries into the restricted travel zones around the world to reduce risks. However, with the children returning to school next week, fears of a second spike are rife amongst journalists. So we encourage you to stay vigilant and maintain social distancing at all times. This week, we sent out a simple questionnaire to our Talking News members, reminding them of how you can listen to this service, but also asking for a little information back. Vectis Radio have been so kind in offering these twice-weekly slots to hear the Talking News, but we must look to plan for the future when lockdown further eases. To this end, we have been looking at other ways we can send out our Talking News, for example, through using Alexa devices and apps, so that it is all completely voice-controlled. We hope this will allow our members complete freedom to listen to it at their leisure and repeat it if they need. So if you've received a survey, if you could let us know which types of internet access you have, we can better plan a way forward to make not only the Talking News, but all the information we produce easier to access. Remember, you can call us with your answers, email or return the form, whichever is easiest for you. Our work with the police in setting up their new visual impairment policy to train officers how to make themselves known to people with sight loss is at the final stages. However, we are now looking for members to record their own experiences of greeting police officers at their front door. We've been asked to find 5 members who wish to share their experiences firsthand to help shape how officers identify themselves to sight-impaired people in the future. If you would like to record your experience, please contact me at the office and we can arrange this for you. This part of the work is very important and the police are looking for genuine stories so they may genuinely improve how their officers approach people. I hope you continue to enjoy this Talking News, but I welcome all comments and feedback at any time. My email address is ceo@iwsb.org.uk. That is ceo@iwsb.org.uk. And our office phone number is 522205. Thank you very much. Lisa.
Scaffolding information. Youth Centre High Street Braiding. 62 High Street Braiding. 15 Market Hill Cows. Cameos, 16 Bath Road Cows. Marlborough House, Gate Lane, Freshwater. 48 Lugley Street, Newport. 10A Lugley Street, Newport. Santander, 26 St James / Pyle Street, Newport. 3 Downs View, Sandown, 17 West Street, Ventnor, and 54 South Street, Ventnor. And now the skips. 26 Meadow Drive, Bembridge, 44 Fallen Road, Bembridge, 56 Victoria Road, Cowes, 41 Quarry Road, Ryde, 13 Ratcliffe Road, Ryde, 2 Weeks Road, Ryde, 35 Dover Road, Ryde, and 4 Lilliput Court, Totland. Sight for Wight would like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Talking News. We would also like to thank our volunteers for reading, and a particular thank you to the Island Echo, Isle of Wight County Press, and On the Wight. A special thank you must go to Vectis Radio, who has helped us get vital information to our members.